Welcome everyone, Arthur Bablis here, and we are here again, MBX Insights, our interview series, and I'm excited because today we have the part 2 of a very special guest. We haven't been on here for the last 3 or 4 weeks. We've had an amazing month. You know, we had a deep dive, we had a masterclass, we had our first group of NLP trainers that we put through our program, and boy, you know, these 8 people, these 8 souls are now qualified as worldwide international trainers, people from Bali, people from the country would come here to New South Wales here in Sydney so we can train them, level them up, get their mindset right and give them skills to be able to start sharing their gifts out in the world. And you know, we haven't had these interviews for a while, so I'm back today, and we're going to start them again with a very special soul. We've met this lady once, and you know, I've known this person now for the last 6 or 7 years, and if you've watched part 1 of that interview, you know the story. I've been watching her, you know, go from basically being a struggling life coach, wanting to make a mark here in the industry, to be able to make a difference, to creating a thriving business, you know, a $5 million business in the space of 7 years. But not only that, be able to help hundreds and hundreds of other people be able to duplicate what she's done, and now put together a business to specifically help coaches, therapists, practitioners and healers, people who are entrepreneurs, to be able to build their own business. Oh, we saw a picture there. She's coming on the screen. All right, so we'll get to meet her, but look, you know, I'm so excited because we're having a chat with her, because not only is she a business coach, I've been working with her the last 6 or 7 months, and for me, things have started to be different here in my business. I started to put some systems in place, started to put some plans in place, but more importantly, she's a wonderful human being, and I call her a friend, and you know, I just love having a conversation with her. So everyone, let's put it together for the wonderful Francesca Moi. Come on down, Francesca.
Hello, Arthur. Thank
Here
you so much for having me.
Everyone's going wild. The crowd's going wild.
Oh my God, you're literally a tech king. How do you?
Oh, we can do that one more time. Here we go.
Stop it.
I think.
Stop it.
I mean, that's probably the better one as opposed to this one, right? No, Francesca's in the house, everyone, pay attention. Francesca, how are you? Great to have you here today, and it's wonderful to have a conversation with you. And we chatted probably about close to 2 months ago, and we had so many people.
Was it months ago? I thought it was more. Oh my gosh, so much
probably,
happened.
look, so much has happened, you know.
So much has happened. I feel like it's been like 6 months. Okay, you have all your fancy things. I've got this one.
I feel radiant and full of it.
Okay. All right. I like it. I'll give you one of these.
Honestly, everybody, if you're watching this and you're loving like all these effects that he's putting on, just for like put a heart. I want to see how many people love it. I love it. I just absolutely love it.
So, so yes, guys, if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching live, just send us some love hearts and say hi to myself, and of course to the lovely Francesca Moi. And if you've got a question to listen to her story, put in the question so you know we can get it to answer it. So we're all watching it live. She's getting the comments over there. She's taught me how to do this as well. So I think I'm doing a good job in putting it all together, so I can see all the comments. And so look, you're in the house again. We've got 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 45 minutes. I know you've got to get going at Brisbane time at 5:15, because you keep your calendar quite, what's the word? I don't want to say
tight?
Regimented, tight, but well, what's the word? It'll come to
Discipline.
me.
I'm disciplined.
Discipline. That's the word. You're
Right?
disciplined, and I think when you know we heard your story 2 or 3 months ago, and seeing what you've done over the last 6, 7 years, you know, you can't do that without discipline. We can't do that without commitment. You can't do that without having a bigger vision and waking up every morning, you know, with a purpose and moving towards what it is that you want to achieve. And so, you know, we talked about you, we talked about your business, we talked about ideas and how to build the coaching business, but you know, we started talking about some personal stuff too, right? I thought, let's get on and just have a conversation, right? So look, I'm going to put in speak of you, so
part
that,
of it, right?
yeah, I'm putting speak of you so the whole world can see you when you speak, not just the 2 screens. And so look, I'm just going to put it over to you. What's been happening for you the last 2 months, 2 or 3 months, and you're headed overseas, right? You're going into a new chapter in your life. So let's talk about that and where you're headed, because you know, people who you've trained, people that you've supported, people who you've helped build their businesses, they look to you as a mentor, and I certainly do. and you want to model success. So if this woman's moving overseas, I might have to start looking to move overseas. So what's going on? Where are you going?
I mean, let's not do everything that I do, because sometimes I also make big mistakes. And this is the thing, right? It's been interesting few years in business, like so crazy. I'm getting really hot. I don't know what's happening in Brisbane. It's getting really hot in here. Which I'm not complaining, by the way, universe. Keep bringing the sun.
Well, you're in the house, so it's got to be hot, right?
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it. So listen, it's been like an incredible 2 years, and I feel that what happened to the world, I think that brought most of us back at home in our heart, in what's really matter and what do we want to create in life. And so I was like sort of caught into a wake-up call of going, I need to walk my talk. I talk about stop working around the clock, stop, rely on your business. Like you have to only be in the business. I'm like, I need to change something. So 2 years ago, I took the huge risk, like legit, so scared to buy my first property. And then 6 months later, buy my second property. And I sort of had a gut feeling, like the other day I was doing one of those personality tests, and it says like, do you make decision from like logic or from gut? And I'm like, gut. All the time. Like I bought a house in 15 days.
Wait. Are you saying there is a personality for the crazy Italian?
Yeah, there is.
Like they can put you in a box? How can they put you in a box?
Look, I actually resonate with like 80% of what they said. And I've done a lot of personality tests and I can't, like, I'm like, depends. And this one was quite full on. So like, okay. I think I'm close to that. And so I've started to invest in different things so that I could actually have what I always talk about, more different stream of income, and make sure that you can have, if the recession happens, if winter comes, what do you do? Like, can you contain that? So I thought I had a bulletproof business, and I thought I was there. I arrived, I succeeded, I'm good. And so my problem before COVID was, how can I turn this business that is obviously taking a lot of my time, and obviously I was quite tired, quite exhausted. How can I turn that into a business that takes less of my time? But what was happening, Arthur, is that I was way too comfortable. Even if I was tired and exhausted and burnt out, it was easy. I knew exactly how to make between 100,000 to 300,000 a month. I knew exactly how to put together a national tour, go on tour, have fully booked rooms, talk, do what I do best, which is speak on stage, go home with $300,000 in sales. Like I just knew how to do that. So when you know how to do something like that, it's like, why change it? Why change something that works?
Yeah, but that wasn't something that you're comfortable with in the beginning. I was actually just having this conversation this morning. I was going for a walk here in the beautiful Cronulla. You can see, look at the weather here in Sydney, man. It's terrible, right?
I know.
Anyway, I was going on a walk, and we're just talking about that this morning with the friend that I was walking here in Cronulla with in the morning, and we're talking about how, yes, what she's doing in her business and what she's doing, how she's moving forward now, is she's doing things which are uncomfortable 6 months ago. But now that's her new comfort zone, right? It's like she's saying, well, I'm stretching myself. I am doing things which are comfortable. Yeah, you stretched your old identity, but now you are a new identity. What's your next stretch? What's your next level? Because what's the thing that you're scared of doing now? That's what you want to be moving into, not the thing that you were scared 6 months ago. And so, when I was thinking about what I mean, you're telling a story, right? So that's probably where you were. You were in that zone where you were doing things which 6, 7 years ago, oh my God, you were dreaming of, but how do you get there, right? But now it was the new comfort zone. It was like you achieved that. It's like your parameters had grown, and so I suppose you needed to push yourself to the boundary.
That's fascinating, right? Because then the new was just to be scared and become comfortable, and then becomes, you get stuck yourself in there again, because you're like, why would I change this? Like, and I had people trying to come to my business and say, look, what if you try this? What if you try that? And I was like, I don't want to. Like, I wanted, but it was too scary. So what I realized is that the Francesca that built that business and did so many scary things didn't do scary things for way too long. And so I got to like comfortable, and I was like, I know how to make 300,000 a month. Why do I need to learn something new? And then I started to doubt my bigger dream, Arthur. I had a bigger dream to get my business to 5 million in 1 year. and was like, I think this is impossible. So I changed it to 2 million in 1 year. And then I started to say, why do I have to do that? Why am I not happy with what I'm doing right now? Like when I do a tour, I make 300,000, then I don't worry about money again until I have another tour. Then I have another tour, and then I make another 300,000. And that's my 1.5 million a year. And every 3 months I make 300,000, and then I have no how to do this and that. And I just knew where money was going to come from, where sales was going to come from, and it was easy. And instead, learning something new would have mean maybe quitting all of this, maybe finishing all of this. And that was way too scary for me. Are you willing to lose it all to build something completely new? And this is the question that my answer to that before COVID was, fuck no. Hell no. I want to lose all of that. Because by then what, Arthur? I had a lifestyle. I had a chef. I had a full-time chef. I have a full-time cleaner. I didn't fit in a grocery store for over 2 years. I didn't do all the things that I didn't really enjoy doing. Now, am I lazy? No, I could afford to have a better lifestyle. So it started to become my new identity. It's like, I don't go grocery. I don't buy things. I don't do things. People do them for me. And so it became a new identity. And then it was really hard to let that go. So hard.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying, because I think, where the world was going and, entrepreneurship and people in the industry, I mean, a rapid growth in the last, 5 to 10 years before COVID in the industry, especially in the field that you really have made your mark in, like, the business coach, helping other coaches. And you go back 10, 15 years ago, were there business coaches? I mean, I was teaching at these natural therapy colleges, like I was a faculty there, and we're teaching people the government accredited diplomas. And people would do like 12 weeks, 2 hours a week, 24 hours, a practice and management class, like how to run a business. And they'd get the diplomas and they come out of the colleges and think, well, what do I do now? I mean, because people rent a room and wait for clients to come in and see. And that was 15 years ago, old school, right? And then suddenly, with the growth of the internet, social media, bang, 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 people start to build businesses online. And then in the last 10 years, you've got all these people who are expert business coaches promising you the next thing, the silver bullet or the silver lining, whatever the case is.
5 steps to $1 million.
Yeah. And have they done it themselves? Yes or no? Some have. Some, are speaking from a space of integrity, in my opinion. I'm not judging, I'm just reporting. This is just my opinion, right? And then others, I mean, like even when I first met you, I said, okay, well, who's this character, right? Spruiking. But you stuck at it, because I'm sure you had lots of people question your early days. And that's probably where most people give up, right? It's Robin Sharma says the hardest part is making the decision to start, right? It's the toughest in the beginning, it's messiest in the middle, but it's glorious in the end, right? But how many times do we need to do that to evolve ourselves and evolve what it is that we want to do? And I think what happened before COVID, this industry was growing, and COVID, and that question you said, are people prepared to lose stuff that they've built? No, they weren't. But they were faced with having to lose it. Like the circumstances, the situation outside got them to face things they weren't really prepared to face and discover different parts of themselves. And in doing that, discover different identities, different people that they were. And I think, when you look back at the last 2 years, people can talk about the challenge that went through, but there's so many wonderful stories of so many breakthroughs, so many realizations, so many awarenesses, so many people have found themselves in the last 2 or 3 years that without it wouldn't be where they are today.
Yeah, and absolutely, and change is difficult, right? And the thing is, the reason why I say the story the way I say, I don't want to be upset with COVID. I want to be grateful to COVID, because without that, I would have stayed in that comfort zone of what I created, which, I mean, again, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that journey and that success. However, I was burnt out, and however, that path wasn't going to take me to where I actually truly wanted to go in my heart. It was like I created my own treadmill, and then I couldn't get off it. And so eventually I had to really work out what COVID came, took it all out. So, okay, here we go. Now it's gone. And so I had to make a decision. Do I move it all online? What do I do? So I did all online again, because I had to stay on the treadmill. What do? Do I wanted to fire 14 people that I had working for me the moment the COVID hit? I had 14 staff, 7 in Australia full time. So tax, super, all of that. and 7 in the Philippines. It's like, do I want to fire 14 people? 14 people that count on me for me to make a decision. I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I need to keep going. The treadmill is on. Let's go. So I found a way to stay on. We lost a few people on the way because they got scared. They were like, I don't want to work with this woman.
So that was your new stretch, right? So that was a new stretch. So a different situations, different circumstances has started, led to you actually starting to do things a little bit different, thinking outside the box and how you've done that, and to, well, not only maintain what you're doing, but keep on building and keep the livelihood of 14 or as many people as possible that wanted to stay still alive.
I thought it was so scary and so stressful. I don't even know how I did it. Like, honestly, I would go to bed with like this gut feeling, like feeling in my stomach of like, oh my God, how am I going to survive tomorrow?
And hey, let's not knowing, heard your story during that time too, you were going through your personal stuff as well.
I was going through a breakup as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was, honestly, I have said I have to say, I think the last 12 months has been the hardest of my entire life. Like, I've never been in such a roller coaster of ups and downs, and I'm not out of it yet. I feel that there's a long way to go. I made one big mistake when COVID happened. I didn't fire everybody. But is that a mistake? I don't know. Financially, probably it was, but I didn't want to be that person that goes, COVID happened, see you later. And it's such a pity because...
Well, you want my view on that, if I can interrupt you?
Yeah, go for it.
I think it would have been a mistake for you to go against who you are in your heart.
I just got goosebumps.
Was it a mistake? You held true to who you are. You know, you held true in terms of the values of you as a human being and what it is, not only creating your own business, but what it is that you're doing for everyone else as well too. And
honestly,
you thought, you know what, I'm just going to have to find a way.
And honestly, I feel like I've at one point, I've heard people say things about me, that I was a princess, that I was, because I had a chef, because Francesca doesn't do things like that. And I had all these identity people that were throwing at me, and I started to sort of believe it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm lazy. Yeah, okay. And I was like, you know what? When that happened and I had to get my team, I didn't pay myself. I had, like, the universe worked in magic ways. My chef quit herself, so I didn't actually fire her. She quit. My cleaner was like, I've got so many jobs. Do you want to cut hours? I saw that your business is struggling. I'm like, yeah, please. That's okay. So the cleaner cut the hours. She still worked for me. Thank goodness, because I adore her, but she cut hours, and like things started to happen around me without me having to make the decision. Some team members left and, whatever happened, but I have stopped paying myself. I cut everything I could because I would not fire someone because of the situation. Like, I was like, I do everything I can and I used to work 3 days a week, and then I went back working 7 days a week. Like, I did everything that I could to keep the business afloat. And again, financially, maybe as a businesswoman, I could have, I should have, who knows? But my heart, I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit in a chair and say, sorry, you don't have a job anymore because I can't pay you. I just could not do that. So hindsight, looking back, as a business person, maybe that was what a lot of my mentors said I should have done. And it's like, okay, financially, I put myself in debt to pay my team. And then what happened though, the stress was there. So I became not a nice boss because now I'm at work and I'm resentful to these people because I'm like, I am working so hard to pay you. So now I'm becoming this bitch of a boss, right?
Yep. Because
I didn't know what else to do. We had to change the story. We have to change all that. I mean, I wasn't that bad. I think I'm exaggerating. But I wanted to remind everybody, like, we look at people on the outside and we think like they've got it easy. It was not easy. But then, coming out of that, just to get to the point, is like we have created a brand new business, literally started a brand new business in April. And that business now is giving me the freedom to be able to go to US and run the business from US, is giving my team a job. So they kept the job, thank goodness, is giving other people support in their business. And in literally 6 months is a $500,000 business already. And I'm like, and this is just the beginning. So I'm like, holy guacamole. Like, if I just remind myself that I'm in the right place at the right time, even when everything is dark, even there is a tornado around us, just know that you're gonna fall on your feet. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's like my dad always used to say that, right? Like he always said, no matter what, just keep them going, but whatever happens, you're always going to fall on your feet, you know? And now there's a question here, because Nadine's asking a question. Nadine's in the house, he's listening. So actually it was her I was going for a walk with her this morning, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she said, what was your why to push yourself again?
That's a very good question, Nadine. What's my why to push myself again?
Your why then, and then what is it now that you're pushing yourself in a new direction?
So look, the biggest why for me was my team. Like, we have built this business together. It wasn't just me, it was all of us together. So for me to give up on them and to say, sorry, we're just not going to be part of my team, it's just not an option. So my why became my team for a quite while there. And that's also why sometimes when things happen, it can be quite heartbreaking, because you're like, oh my gosh, don't leave now. Like, I've done everything and we can do this together. So sometimes a couple of team members, especially that left, I felt like, oh my gosh, they don't believe in this anymore. And I had to build that, my own trust back, right? But my why in business, it's always been helping. So the other thing that I have noticed is that right now there is a lot of business coaches out there, like you were saying. So I wasn't, my strength is face-to-face, and I realized that my strength online wasn't as strong. I can still do, I mean, we run the business on 1 million. So I knew that I could still do that, but didn't want to continue that way. I didn't feel that was me anymore. And the agency, the virtual assistant agency, allow me to help people what actually they truly want. Like, they want someone to do it for them. They don't want to do the things that they never wanted to do. The reason why they're not consistent is because they just don't want to do it, because that's how it is. They're not disciplined, they're not focused, and they just need someone to do it for them. And so that's what the virtual assistant brings to people, is the freedom. So my why is to be able to help people to what I believe they need. And so I think that's my biggest why. Is like, we can live our dream, we just have to take risks. And I want to bring that to people. This is why I'm so open to share my story of what happened, because I think that people don't realize that I still take massive risks every single day.
But people are going to say, well, it's easy for you because you've created what you've created, and you're comfortable because you've built your business, so you've got this buffer to be able to take risks.
There's no buffer. The buffer is gone with COVID, by the way. There used to be a huge buffer, but the buffer is gone with COVID. And I bought 2 houses, right? So I put all my cash in properties now. So I don't have cash at the moment. And so the buffer is what? The buffer is in only my brain. That's the only buffer.
Exactly. That's where the buffer is. The buffer is in the expansion of them thinking, the expansion of the mindset, the expansion of, and the training of the neurology, right? Upskilling your nervous system to be able to deal with certain situations and certain challenges that you never thought you would before. But that only happens by taking the risk, stepping outside the zone, and like you building a whole new business. So when I joined you in April, you're starting a whole new business. What did I join you for?
Because you're in the best area, right?
I agree, and now so it's a great story, because it's not that people say to me, like, you always keep on changing the goalposts. You're not changing goalposts. You keep on transitioning. It's like we want to get to a destination. Evolution of our consciousness, and we've got everyone else. We've got all the reasons not to coming against us. It's like sailing upwind, and you can't sail upwind in a straight line. You've got to go zigzag. You've got to use the pressure of what's coming towards you to propel you forward. So you've got to going zigzag, zigzag. And the thing is, if you don't tack back and come across, you're going to end up somewhere else and too far away from where your destination is. And so you've got to keep on adjusting the sails to get to where you want to go. And I think that's what you've done. And I know that's what I've been doing in the past. That's what you've done. And now you're in the next transition. So you built this virtual assistant business where, it's a business now that helps coaches, therapists, practitioners, and healers to be able to find their time freedom, to be able to start, having other people in the business when they thought they probably couldn't afford it. They probably can't afford it not to do it when you think about it, because the amount of time they get back, you put a price on that. That's more than what it actually costs them, and it doesn't cost them. It's an investment in themselves, and And you know, what are you also doing? You're actually creating a life for someone else. You're putting an energy out where you're creating flow and growth by hiring someone, you know what I mean?
And
so
you're contributing to the world, right? Because it's not just the business. This business that we're creating is not about us. It's about our clients, about our team. It's about, you know, bringing something bigger and greater for everybody. So for me, that's why I was so attached to my team. I was like, I want to offer the best job they can be in the world. I don't want to just this to be like, oh, gotta go to the office today. It's like, I can't wait to get to the office because we get to do so much cool stuff in there, right? And that's what I've always wanted to do. So for me, the virtual assistant, oh my God, the other day I thought I had a meeting with all the VAs of the academy, of the agency, and we have about 25 VAs at the moment that are actively working for the agency, and we have also 200 virtual assistants on the outside that, you know, what we used to do before. So I had all these beautiful faces in front of me, and I was like, every single one of you is making a difference in someone else's business. Like, he's making someone feel that they're not alone in business anymore. They've got someone, they've got the rock. Like, you guys don't understand how important you are for the business, and we're never going to let them down. Like, I'm committed to your employment. So if that doesn't work out, I'll find you something else, but you're committed to them forever, right? There's no quitting, there's no, right? And this is the thing that it's so beautiful, right? We all get to make a difference in each other's life because of that. I just love it.
Well, you know, I've got two beautiful VAs through your agency, and they're making a difference for us, and they've been trained well, and they're doing a wonderful job, and yeah, they're the big part of the team. It's like we don't have to say much; they still do what they do behind the scenes, you know, which is awesome. So, okay, so now, like, because you built your business over the last 5 years or 7 years, let's just say, you know. The Sold Out Business Academy, helping coaches, therapists, practitioners, healers to be able to build their business, to be able to go from invisible to invincible is your journey, right? Where, you know, be able to stand up, speak up and show up, be able to share their magic in the world and make themselves known so people come to them so they can provide them their service. And that's grown, right? And now you've got that pretty much all digitized. You've got programs, you've got courses that people can do and some events that people can show up, but now you're moving to the next level with that business, not only providing with those skills on how to build a business, now the support structure and the systems and the people behind the scenes to do that. And that's your new empowering virtual assistant business, right? And now you're moving to the States. So tell me about that, because that's, you know, Nadine says, thanks for sharing, the risk can be super scary. I agree, but you know what's the biggest scary thing? Not taking the risks.
I agree, because what if you don't do it?
It's scarier staying where you are as opposed to taking the risk.
Yeah.
If you're scared to take the risk, then you're becoming like everyone else. And if you're like everyone else, I get that. We still love you. But as we say in the industry, we're not going to love your problem.
And the thing is, this, Arthur, it's so much easier to hear someone talk about what they have done. Like, I took a risk back then, and people watching like, oh, it's easy for them. No, like, you got to really listen to the word. Like, taking a risk back then and the day after and the day after and like every day in business, you have, like, there's no other way to grow a business. You have to take risks. So if you're watching this, ask yourself, when is the last time that I took a risk that really got my stomach to go upside down and feel sick onto the stomach for a week? And what's happened is that when people tell me that, and I had this in my business for 7 years, right? People, my academy used to be a $20,000 program for 12 months, right? It is $20,000 for 12 months. And so what happened is that people used to be like, oh, I'm joining for sure, I'm doing it, I'm taking the risk. And then they will go home and the stomach will go boop. And so what happened? They will call me back and said, my stomach went boop, and that means it's a sign. I don't have to do it. And it's like, no. That is a sign that you have to do it. That is a sign that you have to take that step. That's a sign that you have to lean in. No, but as soon as I said no to you, I felt relieved. I'm like, yeah, because you're back in your comfort zone. Welcome. Is that where you want to be? That means you're not going to have the result that you want. Is that what you want? And it's fascinating how, as humans, we think that being back without that bad feeling to our stomach is actually a good thing, when it's not. It's not. You got to lean in. You got to be there. And
you know, it's not just business, right? Because your business is just a reflection of, you know, as you say, 3D printout of your thoughts, right? Not only 3D print of your thoughts, of your heart, of your soul, really of your identity. So how you build your business how you show up there is basically how you're showing up in life. So we're talking about, you know, these risks, not just in your, like in your business, but if you want to have a thriving life, you need to, you know, live life on the edge. And that's not jumping off a cliff or a mountain like Pepsi Max commercial, you know, like it's like living life where your heart flutters and you think, oh my God, something's happening here. You know, this is where the edge of personal growth, the edge of spiritual growth, the edge of commercial growth, the edge of, you know, of enlightenment, I really believe. And I think that's how we train ourselves. That's what you've done, right? And that's why people say it's easier. Well, it's easier for you because you train your neurology, not just in your business, but in your other areas. Because, you know, you think about it. You had to do you had some sacrifices to get to where you are in your business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, you know what, I'm not prepared to do that. I want balance in my life.
Oh, balance doesn't exist. Everybody stop with the balance BS.
Stop it.
Stop it. It's become a thing, right? Oh my gosh, I want to have balance. I only want to go 2 days a week. It's like you can get there once you've hustled your way through. You can't just get there by miracle unless you're okay with a $50,000 business, and that's fine. But if you want millions, if you want, you know, to build that huge lifestyle, you got to back yourself.
And that's a key thing, right? It's not a case that everyone has to hustle and grind. And I'm not necessarily like those words, but if you're in, you know, in your heart, you've got a purpose, you've got a mission, you want to get somewhere, and you're not prepared to actually do what you need to do to get where you want to go, then that's incongruency. That's not being congruent, authentic to yourself. That's where the inner conflict comes. You know, the two wolves fighting inside you, right? And so either you adjust what it is that you want, or change what's happening here. And even that's what most people do, right? They think, oh, they're not living the lives that they want because they compromise their lives. They're not prepared to do what they need to do now to be authentic to themselves.
But see, we are a society of people that overdrink, overeat, over exercise, over watch porn, whatever it is, right? We overdo
What
something.
was that? Over watch porn?
Well, I don't know. I just put it out there, right?
All right.
So people do all those things, right? They overdo because they're trying to do what? They actually don't have a problem of overdoing. They have a problem under feeling. They're not actually sitting there feeling their feelings. And oh, jeez, I had to feel my feelings the last 2 years. Like I was fighting with reality. I'm like, wait a minute, someone give me my bank business. I liked it. Sorry if I complain about it, universe, give it back to me. I'm quite happy there. So it's fascinating how I didn't want to feel the feelings. I wanted to like overeat. And in fact, I did put on quite weight and then I lost it again because I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not feeling my feelings. I'm like actually eating now and I'm doing this and I'm doing that again because this is scary, right? So it's important for all of us. It's like, let's just be okay with feeling the feelings. What is the bad thing about feeling a bad feeling? Like you feel it and then it goes. But what we do is that we eat to not feel, or we drink to not feel, we smoke, or we whatever it is to not feel their feelings, which means we're going to take that with us forever.
Yeah. Wherever you go, you take yourself with you, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you this question, right? Because we know that, you know, when you maybe it's overwork, overeat, overdo everything as a compensation to dissociate and keep away the feelings, right? Keep away the emotion. And the more we push it away, the more the pain and the problem grows. And the secret to getting to your next step, the secret to actually taking that risk is making a decision to let go of something that no longer serves you, right? Because you can't start something new. The Chinese medicine say that, right? You can't start something new unless you let go of what you're holding onto on the old. So let me ask you, what did you decide to let go of to move forward again? Because that's the growth, right?
My biggest thing, Arthur, which was actually the hardest thing, it was my identity. So I was terrified, and letting go of the business that I had meant failure, meant that I wasn't as good at business that I thought I was, meant that I didn't have my identity, like my identity of I'm a successful business person. And it was terrifying because I had to accept to lose it all. And I remember the day that I called my mom and I said, Mom, I think there's an opportunity that I might need to go bankrupt. She was like, what? And I said, just listen. I was freaking out. I said, just listen, there's an opportunity. And she goes, is there? I'm like, not really, but I'm accepting it. In case I have to go all the way there, I'm not going to fire my team, but if I continue like this every month and I'm going to continue to pay them, like my expenses were $90,000 a month. So we're not talking about 5, right? We're talking about 90,000 a month. So every month that we were like 90,000 will go out, 90,000 will go out, 90,000 will go out. I knew that if I kept going like that in 6 months, probably I had to call it. Something was going to have to happen. The moment that I accepted bankruptcy, even if I wasn't even close to that, right? I could have sold this house and the other house. I made a plan. So I'm like, okay, what are my steps? If nothing changes in business and I'm not getting back the sales that I used to get so easily, right? Going national to a boom, what am I going to do? So I started to make a plan of escape, right? Okay, I can sell this house and I have this much equity. I sell that house and and then I'll do this and that. And then if worst case scenario, this happened in a year and still in a year, I still have these expenses and I'm going to go bankrupt. And so what? What does that make it mean about me if I do go bankrupt? By the way, so everybody listen to this. There was everything in my body was like, we're not even talking about that. I'm going to fight. I'm not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to sell my house. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to keep going, right? Everything I wanted. But the more I was pushing and trying to avoid talking about what's the worst case scenario, the more I was stuck in this treadmill. The moment that I surrender and I allow the possibility that maybe I was going to go bankrupt is the moment that solutions came to me, the moment that I accepted everything, and the moment that I found ideas, the moment that I was able to take a step forward towards my new identity, my new future, rather than be stuck in there.
So what did you let go of? You talk about your identity. I'm just listening to your story here. Yeah, I think it's a bit more than that.
Oh, tell me. I'm always curious. What did I let go of?
You said it, and it is part of your identity. But I'm thinking, and it's an interesting because it's a common meme. We all have a different way of experiencing a human narrative, right? We all go through it. There is a human narrative. There's the journey that we all go on, and we just experience it in our own individual way. But to me, it sounds like when you gave up the need to fight.
Maybe I need to apply that somewhere else.
There you go, right? And you use the word surrender. That's an interesting conversation with a lot of people. What does that mean? Is it giving up or is it embracing? Because the word surrender, energetically, if you look in the dictionary, it is giving up, right? I know what we mean by surrender is like lean into it and allow things to come into you. But surrender, energetically, if you look in the dictionary, and more people around the world think of surrender as a giving up thing. Right, so energetically has a bigger karmic footprint of giving up than this new age surrender term of, which I say, well, are you really surrendering or embracing all possibilities? And in order to embrace, you said it, you have to accept and allow other things to come up. But you don't allow other things to come up if you don't accept the good and the bad.
Yeah, and it's so true because I just Googled surrender and you're right. Number 1 says stop resisting an enemy or an opponent and submit to their authority. And number 2 is give up or hand over, typically on compulsion or on demand. So yeah, no, that's not what I wanted to say.
I know, but energetically, that's the definition that, there's more people, the masses will take that definition than the people who are in our industry. And so energetic has a bigger energetic footprint of that meaning.
I like that, Arthur. I've read a book of Oprah that she talked about surrendering, and I loved it. And I love that new concept that she really installed in my brain about surrender. But I don't like the energetic part of it, so I might have to change that word. So thank you.
I get when you say surrender, it's like surrender the need for yourself to fight.
Yeah, just allow faith. Just have faith and trust. Allow the things to happen the way they happen. And if I have to go bankrupt, be it.
And you know why people don't allow? Because they keep on fighting.
Yeah.
They keep on resisting.
We're so afraid. I couldn't even speak with my mother about it. She was like, Francesca, you're not going bankrupt. I'm like, Mom, just listen. But no, I'm like, Mom. And I had to do that self-conversation with myself. I'm like, bankrupt? You're crazy. I'm not going bankrupt. I couldn't even, and again, I wasn't even close to bankruptcy, but my brain, I needed to accept the worst case scenario. And if I accept the worst case scenario, then what? Then you can always only build up. Then you can only accept and go from there and know that worst case scenario, I'll be fine. And before bankruptcy, there was like selling this house, selling the other house. I was like, worst case scenario, I sell all these and I get a job. I'm not going to enjoy that much, but I'm not going to die. Like my brain was telling me that it was the end of everything, right? It's like, oh, that can happen, and I'll still be fine. The moment that we accept that, is everything changes.
And so
Then
now,
also, sorry,
now
one more thing there, Arthur. I don't mean to interrupt you, but this is
no,
important.
go ahead.
The moment you accept that is the moment that you also allow that risk. You're okay to take the risk because, again, you know the worst case scenario is not that bad. Yeah, that's it.
And you do it once and you do it twice, and you've got the neurology of what it's like and the possibilities and how you can do it. So now you're making, or you've made a decision, you're going to go to the States and run your business from there and see what that may lead to.
Look,
So what's the purpose of the States? Well, what's the big picture? Where do you think that'll lead? If it could lead to the ideal scenario, what would it be?
Look, the ideal scenario for me is to prove to myself that I can run a successful business from anywhere, because I have never done that. I have never done that. And I'm like, you know what? Let's prove it to myself, because I need to prove it to me first and foremost. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I'm sort of like going from a holiday / working. So the first month is working, the second month is holiday. So I'm like, let's give it a go. Let's try and see it. If that works out, or maybe I should say when that works out, when I prove myself that I can do that, then there is another layer of what else is possible. There's another layer of maybe I can go to Italy 3 months a year and just spend time in there. Maybe I can start to plan more freedom, which is what I started a business for. So I'm not saying that I'm moving to America, but I am open to it now. When before I was fighting, no, I need to stay in Australia. My business is here. I can't move anywhere. I need to stay here. There was so much pressure on staying here until COVID happened that I started to wonder, why am I in Australia still? What is holding me here? What is the reason why I'm here? Would I choose Australia again and I'm not saying that I'm not going to adore Australia. They give me so many opportunities and I love it. I just want to choose it again.
So by doing that, you're going overseas stretching yourself again to open up new possibilities, new doors, and to do something you haven't done before.
Yeah.
See if you can truly build an international business and run it from anywhere in the world. So that, as you said, provides another layer of freedom or opportunities and choices for you. And
it could be a massive fall in my face type of situation, and I'm okay to
you're taking that risk.
And
now,
it's scary.
what's allowing you to take that risk? What have you built here in order for you to be able to do it? Because this is really what other coaches need to hear, right?
Yeah. So what has been happening here is that with my team, we work so hard to put systems and procedures in place. So the team is running without me. Like everybody knows what they need to do. I am the main salesperson, so I'm bringing the clients in. But once the clients are in, they are looked after so well, way better than what I could do, because I am very good at putting systems in place or getting my team to be organized, but I'm not as organized. I'm more scattered. I'm more last minute things. I'm more, spontaneous, which is work for my position as long as my team do all the rest. So because that is a well-oiled machine, it works. And once they know how to, we've got a group of 9,000 virtual assistants wanting to get a job. So we've got that sorted. We've got that wing of the business sorted, or like how to find a good assistant, train them. All of that is done without me. Once I get a virtual assistant, I've got amazing staff members that get them in and look after them and the clients. So, am I really needed here? I don't think so. So once you have systems, you have people. Like my VAs are so loyal. Like the other day, there was a client on a Friday night at 10 p.m. because this person lives abroad, asking questions. And my VA was there answering. And I'm like, hey, just don't have to. You can wait until Monday. It's not urgent. They're like, but the clients need it. I'm like, oh God, you're so nice.
So for any coach, practitioner, therapist, healer out there who's, in the stage in the business where, well, obviously they got a vision, they got a purpose, they got a why, they want to grow their business. And maybe it's time that they start looking at what systems they need to put in place. What help can they, how can you put your hand up and ask for help? And again, you go somewhere where the system is and someone's put it in place for others and it works. And so if they want to reach out to you so they can start having choices as well, maybe be able to build an international business like you. Hey, that's what happened to me earlier this year. I went overseas with my family and I started thinking, I can do this as well. I can be 6 months over there and 6 months here. But and that happened because we had things happening over here. So it opens doors to other possibilities, right? Yeah. So what do they need to do if they want to get hold of you to take the next step, have a conversation with you, or even come along to one of your events? You got a special event coming up next weekend, next week, don't you?
Yes. I do events, lots of events happening online. So if you guys are interested in the virtual assistant, there is one next week that you definitely can come along to. There is the possibility to just have a one-on-one with me, and we just brainstorm what's happening in your business. Where is the blind spots in your systems? Where is the blind spot? Where are you working so hard in that you don't really need to? And so we can do like, I call it a game changer call, because it's a game changer. You're gonna find out, oh my gosh, I'm doing all these things, all these hours, when I actually could delegate all of that and then focus on business growth or take time off or whatever it is that you can do. The other day I was talking to someone, I thought, it breaks my heart. And she said, I think I need to talk to you. I said, why? What's going on? She goes, I've just literally sent away two clients, potential clients, to a competitor of mine because I can't handle any more jobs. I'm like, no. Don't just get a VA. She says, but I think that all the things that I do, I'm the only one person doing it. I'm like, no, everything that you do, it can be passed along. This only need is a system and a procedure. What you do is you follow a procedure. And like, but I've got years of experience. I'm like, yeah, and so what? Like, we just think that we're all so special. I mean, we are, but are we really? Like, we're all following some sort of system, some sort of procedure. So we just need to download that and then fine tune it until this is a machine that just works.
And not only for your business, you put those strategies in place for your business, you'll be able to create the neurology and the understanding of how you can implement those type of structures in other areas in your life. And you start systematizing one area, the other areas start to change as well too.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Well, look, I know it's 6:15 Sydney time, 5:15 Brisbane time.
Yes.
I know you got a schedule disciplined schedule, as we said earlier on. I mean, we can talk all night, right?
We can.
Great, right? It's great having a chat with you and just getting to let people know you a little bit from a deeper level, not just that business coach, but also that you are a normal person like everyone else. We go through our own challenges, we go through our own tribulations.
Am I normal?
Are you asking me?
Are you sure?
I
don't know.
Look, is anyone normal? But we tend to follow this normality, what we think we should or shouldn't be doing, according to whom is the question. And then
I don't know. If you're watching this, like, I think we're not normal. I'm not normal. I can guarantee you that.
Well, look, everyone's unique in their own way. Look, ultimately, whatever we decide, we're going to justify our own mind, right? Whatever we do in our lives, we've got a cognitive bias. So whatever decision someone makes, they're going to be right.
I know.
But here's the thing. Do you want to be right achieving the things that you want to achieve, or do you want to be right not achieving the things you want to achieve and living the life that you want to live and becoming the person that you were destined to become? I think that's the journey that people go on in this industry. So if you're listening and you want more information or want to reach out to Francesca, just leave a message here or PM and she'll get hold of you, or we'll post a link in there. You can book a call with her if you want to book a call with her and want to know more. But look, again, Francesca, I want to thank you for being on today and having a chat with you. And not just for today, just in the last, is it 6 months now already, since April, that we've got to know each other a little bit more, not only from a business perspective, of the conversation that we have. And, it's true. And people say it's the environment that you create around you, the people that are around you that can understand you, that makes a difference for you. It's very rare to be able to communicate with people who, how many times you sit there saying, I don't think they get me. Did they get me? Well, I don't think anyone can ever get Francesca. But the point is, understand the journey, because we all go through the journey. And so you have journey talk, right?
Oh, look, it's just been a fantastic journey. And I don't know, it's always going to continue going, and I'm going with it. And I've accepted the other thing. I've surrender. I've accepted too. I'm not normal. If I was normal, I probably wouldn't do what I've been doing. I've been taking crazy risks that, like, the level of anxiety I had in the last, especially year. I mean, who wants to do that?
Yeah, true. Well, look, we're, from myself and everyone else here, we want to wish you all the best with your new venture in the States. Obviously, the working month and then the holiday month. I'll be over there too next month, so you know I might just come like, hey, anyone home? We'll see what happens. That could be a surprise.
Oh, you're coming up to Brisbane?
No, I'm going to the States.
Oh, whereabouts are you going?
I'm going to go to LA. I've got a conference to go to with Brendan Bouchard. He's got a live event for 2.5 years. He's got 2,000 or 3,000 coaches there. And then I was planning to hop in a car and drive to Sedona and to Phoenix. So I've been there once before, and a friend of mine's there now, Mike, and he's sending me photos. And I thought that's a journey I probably want to go on my own, just a reflective journey, go into the you know, Sedona's like what Ayers Rock is to Australia. That Sedona's like that, not only to the States, but to the world, right? There's a special energetic place.
Wow.
And then from there, I don't know. I haven't made any plans.
Come to Miami. I'll be there.
I might have a plane from Phoenix to Miami. You never know.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, so I wish you all the best with that. Obviously, we're still doing some stuff until you go. We've got an event next week and everything else. I want to thank you again for you just being there and helping us out and just being who you are. And anyone else who wants to connect with her, reach out to her. Thank you guys for being here. We've been only 50 minutes. We can be here longer, but appreciate your time, Francesca. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Okay, guys. Thank you so much.